Hi beautiful souls, it's Tan back here on this Human Design, Astrology and Gene Keys channel for you. And I've decided that I'm going to be doing a series now on the different channels in the Human Design body graph. Because I've been, of course, making videos for each of the gates and the Gene Keys. And so I want to now put them together and talk to you guys about the different channels in Human Design. And I'm starting the series with the channel 360. I've made a video on Human Design and Gene Keys Gate 3, so you can watch that video as well. Links up above in the description box below. I haven't made a video, however, on Gate or Human Design Gate or Gene Keys 60, but I did talk quite a lot about it in my video on the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which happened last year, so I'll provide a link to that up above in the description box below as well. So with channel 360, Gate 3 is located in the sacral center, and Gate 60 is located in the root center. So we have sacral connected to root. The root is the center of your drive. The sacral is how you respond to life with regards to your life force, workforce energy. So I want to give you guys a quick illustration, a practical, real-life illustration of how this channel works. I'll see you soon. Hi beautiful souls, so I wanted to take a few minutes to show you guys, give you a tour of the house that I currently live in. So this house, my partner, my boyfriend, he bought it around October of last year. And it's a house that's about 120 years old. It was built in 1901. There was an old lady living here and she passed away at the beginning of last year or sometime, and then they were trying to sell the house. We saw it, we loved it, we bought it. So I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna kind of just give you guys a quick tour of it then. Okay, so the stairs that you're seeing right now, the one that goes up and also the one that goes into the basement, was completely new. So the plan when we bought this house was that we knew that about 80% of the house had to be completely renovated because it's so old, and you know, the structures and the foundations were the foundations itself were basically the only thing that we were planning on keeping with the house, because the insulation is really old. The glass is not double glass, and so it's not really protecting or heating up the house at all and insulating the house. So all the windows are gonna have to be changed, the doors are gonna have to be changed. Only the outer wall and of course the column, the foundation, and some of the beams and the flooring were gonna be kept. So everything else, even this wall that you're seeing here, this hallway, is also gonna be taken down. So this room is currently planned to become my office space I'm going to be working in. But you can see it's currently like this, and this is insulation that we bought. We're going to have to be insulating the entire house ourselves. And the windows have just recently been replaced. It hasn't been properly sealed yet, so the room is currently very cold. So this is the upstairs space. When the old lady was living here, she did not use it. So there's nothing up here. It's an open upstairs second floor space, which we're now going to be doing a lot of things to it because the roof also isn't insulated. The walls are not insulated, so we have to be doing all of that. We just recently changed the windows, so we have the double glassed windows, and that's it. We're gonna make it into a bedroom. There's gonna be a bathroom, a walk-in closet, an office space, seating space. What are you doing?
I'm making the preparations for the installation.
Okay guys, are you ready for it? Now I'm gonna show you our garden. So the main idea, or one of the major reasons for us wanting to move here is because it's big. It's a much bigger space that we get, although there's going to be a lot of renovations that we're going to have to be doing, but we have a really big garden. And Aryan, my boyfriend, in his, we can say his second job, he runs a massage practice. And so now he's built this by himself. This is his massage practice. This building did not exist when we bought the house. So he's been building this since around November of last year. And now it's about 90% finished. Okay guys, and this space over here, which is kind of behind the massage practice, is going to become our garden. And the plan is that I'm going to be having or living in a gypsy caravan, which I've always dreamed of living in. My gypsy caravan's going to be right there. Then we're going to have some things going on in the garden, just sitting around, chilling, growing some flowers and building some bird houses and having some birds in our backyard. So it's going to become something absolutely beautiful. But right now, of course, it is just like this. So basically the floors are going to have to be replanted with grass, because you can see it's just currently like this right now. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to give you a tour of the basement. Ooh, this is like a scene in a horror movie. Okay. I think it's quite beautiful. I mean, the structure here itself, the arches, it can become something quite classic, but yet there's just like a story behind it, but yet, it's like you can get creative with it as much as you want. But of course, currently, there's nothing yet. See, that's how it is. And we've recently found out that these beams here, there's a problem with them in a sense that they have some kind of wood insect living in it, and we're gonna have to get it checked. We might need to replace them. Okay guys, in this room is where we currently live, which I'm not going to be showing you guys because it's really messy. It's got our bed, our sofa, our TV, and then there's a room after that leads to the kitchen, a really tiny kitchen, but I'm just going to keep it private for now. So yes, that's it. Back to Chan Astrology. And I'm back. So that was my little illustration for you guys, because I have gate 60 in my human design body graph, tropical, sidereal, and true sidereal or cosmic human design body graphs. In tropical and sidereal, I don't have the 3, so it's a hanging gate from the 60. In cosmic human design, however, I have the whole 360 channel. My boyfriend has the 3. In cosmic human design, he has the 3. In tropical, he has the 3 as his descendant. So this is like something that he's really looking to do with a partner. The descendant in astrology is the ruler of your 7th house, the house of relationships and partnerships, right? So with gate 60, we have the gene keys frequency of it going from the shadow of limitation to the gift of realism and to the city of justice. The 3, we have the shadow of chaos, the gift of innovation, and the city of innocence. So if we kind of play with the words here and we put them together, at the shadow frequency, we can have something here called limiting the chaos, or an energy of trying to limit chaos. In the gift, we have realistic innovations. And in the city, we have doing innocence justice. So that's how I would kind of creatively put this together. So what happens with this channel is that it is a highly, potentially creative and innovative channel to bring something new into the world. This is what this energy does. And the reason why I was showing you guys around my house, as you can see, if my boyfriend has more of the energy of the 3 and I have more of the 60, you can see how my boyfriend is craving the 60, the old, the traditional. That's why he was super interested in a house that is 120 years old. There's something about the way that it looks, the way that he can get as creative as he wants when he's innovating it, the fact that it is cost efficient, that really draws him to draws his 3. This 60 draws his 3, right? But of course, my approach when we first were moving in and kind of renovating the home, with me being more 60 dominant, we can say, were these kind of more realistic, sometimes it can be a little bit pessimistic way of looking at things. And I'm asking questions like, what if we don't have money for this? This is going to cost a lot. What if we can't do it because it's going to cost a lot? What if the moment we're renovating it, the house falls apart because the structures are, 120 years old and things like that? So that's like what we can see with the two energies that are coming together here. So energetically speaking, in human design, there is what is called an on and off switch when it comes to this particular energy. And how you work with your on and off switch in energy is going to tell you when creativity is going to flow out of you. When you're in the shadow frequency, shall we say, of this energy, we can have two things happening. One of them, we're going to play with words again, can be what I called rigidly anal. If you read the Gene Keys, you'll see that when you're in the shadow of the 60, it can be rigid. And when you're in the shadow of the 3, it can be anal. Or we can also have another way that the shadow of this can work, which is going to be what is called unstructured disorder. Unstructured from the 60, disorder from the 3. So we can have two of these things. So let's talk first about rigidly anal and what that would look like. With this energy, we have the sacral, which is designed to respond to life. When there's something juicy coming in, the 3 in the sacral is going to respond and says, yes, I want to take on this particular project, idea, relationship. And the 60 gives it the drive, the adrenaline push to do that. But the adrenaline push of the 60 is always going to be a little bit cautious, and it's always going to be realistic, and it's going to always be practical. So therefore, you can have energy that's moving between the 360, doing your work, and you have that energy going on, pursuing some kind of goal in life, and the energy is going on, and then at some point it kind of turns off, and you don't really feel like you have the excitement and the push to take action on that excitement that you had initially felt. This is the off switch of this energy. And what the people who have this tend to do when they experience the off switch is they tend to feel they should continue to push forward. They need to be able to push past their energetic limitations and continue to work or continue to do whatever it is that they were doing. And they don't allow themselves time for rest. If, however, you take these periods of rest, these periods where you're considered to be limited in your energy, and you make lemonade out of these lemons, what ends up happening is that you are able to get in touch with your inner child again. A child likes to play. So when a child is not at school, they're not working, they're not doing homework, they're not doing the chores that the parents have given them, they're super creative and they love that time when they're not doing all the responsible things. So if you have at this particular channel, when you are experiencing that off energy and when you are resting, this is a potentially creative time for you. So what happens if you are, rigidly anal is that you can want to continue to push the energy in yourself to work. So you don't allow for that space for that creativity to flourish in a state of rest, because you're afraid that if you do rest, you're going to have chaos, hence the rigidly anal term. If we have the other end of the spectrum of the shadow, which is called unstructured disorder, we can have an energy where you are constantly shifting interest, constantly changing jobs, changing relationships, changing your hobbies, because you innately fear the limitation. So your switch is always still on. There is still no room for that creativity, that rest to come. Even when your sacral is not saying yes to something, you still feel you have to respond to that because you don't want limitations. So for example, you have a hobby and you're interested in riding bike. Your sacral is on with riding bike, but then your sacral then doesn't really get turned on when it comes to, doesn't feel juicy when it comes to playing football, but you still take on a new hobby, which is football. So you change from biking to football, and then your sacral doesn't really respond to, let's say, hockey either, but then you change from football to hockey. So you keep changing even when your sacral is not really responding to something, because the mind is afraid of limitations, of not being able to continuously play, expand, grow, do something new. Whereas it's kind of the opposite of the other one, the rigidly anal version, which is that your sacral is responding to something that it wants, it's juicy about, but the mind is withholding you from going there. So in the other scenario, you can be interested in biking, and you have a job that has to do with bikes. But in your rest period, your sacral is now juicy for football. So you could potentially have a gift for football as well, but you're not responding to that, and you continue to push yourself to continue with your job that has to do with bikes, for example. So that's kind of how it's working here. You're ultimately limiting creativity that could come from periods of chaos. That's what's going on. So if we turn up the frequency of this channel and we get to the gift of it, which is called realistic innovations. The idea behind realistic innovations is to know what works and what doesn't work with the current thing or situation that you're trying to innovate. And to know that what is currently working, this is something that you should keep and not try to change it. But what doesn't work with a situation, a project, an idea, that is what you can build the creativity from. This is important because if you are using your energy in a way where you are trying to change what's already working, with the 360, you can be wasting energy, you can be wasting your resources, your money, you can be wasting your time with it. So knowing that you do have a limit to your energy, you will get an on and off period. And being able to structure, plan, be strategic with your energy is what comes from 360. Yeah, so what doesn't work then is something that you're going to be innovating from. So in the example of this house that me and my boyfriend are renovating, seeing that having windows that are not double glassed, it's not going to work. It doesn't work because then we're going to be paying more for the heating. So we really do need to change those windows, and we need to pay the amount of money that needs to be paid to get it changed, and then spend enough energy to contact the right people with our, the contractors to come and do the windows. That was important. That doesn't work. That needs to change. The room upstairs, how the space that I showed you was completely open. We wanted to keep it like that. We don't want to separate them into individual rooms because it works for us. We like that kind of a loft style living, and it's going to cost less money because there's going to be less need to build, and it caters to what we're looking for. So we're going to keep some parts of the upstairs just as it is and add a little bit more of the interior parts to it. But then again, we also need to fix the insulation because it is not insulated. That does not work. So we're going to have to spend money, put money into that. So this is kind of realistic innovations. This is what it's all about. And when we look at the city frequencies of these two, and we have doing innocence justice, what I really understand from this is that when you're operating at the higher frequency of this particular archetype, you really allow your inner child, the lost inner child, the one that doesn't quite get to play, you allow that part of you to play again, and you trust that this is very much like fifth house energy in astrology, where you really trust that your real passions, your real interests, the things that you enjoy doing as a child, they can actually contribute to the world. They can help you to make money, but then you got to be realistic with how much and how you're going to actually use that play period of yours. But more than that, what actually happens on a physical level with this channel is that your physical body, your DNA, they actually do mutate and they change. Every time you respond to something that your sacral feels juicy about and you take action on that with the amount of limited or burst of energy, or how your energy is working in that day, something happens in your body. Your body becomes more trusting of the joy of life. It becomes more trusting of the inner child within you. It trusts play more and more. It trusts in the unity of us and the universe, that if we do what we love, if we really play, the universe is actually can support us, of course, if we do it with realism. And that there is no sense of separateness between us and the universe, that we have to exert tight control so that we don't have chaos. We limit that kind of a mentality. There is a theory about the mutation of the DNA to go from being what we call a binary helix to a trinary helix. So a 3-strand DNA from a 2-strand DNA that we currently have here. That's considered to be a theory that is maybe, it's a little bit out there, but could be predicted, that is possible to be happening to the human DNA when we are feeling more unified with our environment and with the other organisms around us, rather than separateness. So no 2, but 3. So if you have the 360, you are here to innovate and realistic innovations with regards to things in your own life, and to show us that it is possible to live like a child, to play, and then get money for that, and create something innovative and change the world from that. This is gonna be your example for the rest of us. And yeah. So that's going to be my interpretation of Channel 360. I hope that that was somehow making sense for you guys and that it resonated with you. So do comment below if you have this channel and what's been your experience with it. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I do human design, astrology, gene key readings. All the information is on my website. You can check that out in the description box. I'll leave a link to my website there. And that's it. Have a beautiful day, beautiful souls. Bye.